let's start with the basic problem. That is, you have what I think 300 to 400 extra students this year. So what are the plans to place all these extra students? Is there any new measures which have been taken, the new companies which are coming?
First of all, actually, I would like to thank the Scholars Avenue for this interview. Through this interview, possibly I will be able to convey the feelings which we have at training and placement of the welfare of all the graduate students from the institute, and we are making all our efforts, putting in all our efforts for making sure that everybody goes with a smiling face from this campus. How far we will be successful, the time will tell, but at this point of time we can tell that our hard work, our sincerity, our honesty in the job is fully placed with our PlaceCom team, and the PlaceCom team also is the constituents of the coming from the students body, and I'm sure that we'll have the fair amount of success this year. Now, to begin with the question which you have raised at this point of time, placing this large number of students, 1800 students, which is going to be this year for placement, going to be a very daunting task. It's going to be a big challenge for us because of many reasons. Number one is that this year we are not going to have a public sector units coming to the campus, and which is going to create a very large number of companies' pressure on us. So we need to compensate those requirements by some other companies, and we have approached many other companies, and we have been able to expand our database in terms of inviting more companies this year, and approximately around 250 plus companies this year will be visiting to IIT Kharagpur campus. Now, as far as the measures are concerned, as we know that as the student strength has increased, the distribution of the students in terms of their caliber also will be will be very large, and variation will be there, and we have to accommodate everybody's requirement. Looking at that, we felt that we must now exploit some other avenues which might help them to get them placed. So one of the avenues which we are looking at is the startup companies. We have already given the press release and trying to reach out to the startup companies which might not have very large requirements in their organizations, but they might have very challenging opportunities, and they may not have a large requirement. Because of that, they are not coming to the campus, but we are inviting them to the campus and look at our student pool, and if they find it suitable for themselves, then definitely they can go for it. The second option what we have taken is that to reach out to our alumni, and we have already requested our alumni who have graduated from this institute, and requesting them wherever they are, in whatever position they are, to help us so that as many as our students can be hired through the placement office, and they can possibly be taken into the professional world. So this is something which we are trying to do through our alumni network as well. Thirdly, though openly I have not discussed this in the presentations, but I already told during the internship presentation to all the students when I addressed them in the auditorium, I requested that their guardians, their parents, their relatives, or anybody who is holding a big positions in the organizations, if they can just come forward and help us out and connect with us, then possibly we will be able to expand our database. So let's say, for example, at this point of time, if we have around 1800 students appearing for the placement, even let's say 5% of the students would be having their parents or their relatives or somebody who will be in a position where they are holding a very good positions, and those companies do not visit our campus. So if they give us the contacts, if they give us the connections, then possibly we'll be able to exploit that for the benefit of that. So through this, I just want to tell everyone that self-help is the big help. Definitely, it is impossible for us to bring all the companies to our desk, but if we have a little emotional attachment with certain organizations where our own family is associated, and definitely it will help us to expand our database and at the same time the placement scenario. So these are the few initiatives which we have taken. Though they are not the conventional way of looking at it. Now, of course, conventionally we look at all the advertisement which comes in the newspaper, particularly different companies which do not visit to our campus. We try to reach out to those companies by sending the invitation letters, and to just give you a fair amount of idea, the success rate we have approached more than 3,000 plus companies so far, and our success rate has been around 250 companies. So you can understand the toughness of the problem. And so what I suggest is that let us be very open about it and share whatever the ideas we have, and how we can just really go forward for expanding our database. Okay, I have an answer for it. This obvious reason is that now you must have come to know that all IITs have now the training and placement offices are working in a very unified fashion. The date of interview starting in all IITs are going to be same. So now the 1st December this year in 2012, all the IITs are opening up their organizations. So obviously the major organizations, they have to take a call between the sharing their logistics, their human resources, which they would like to send it for recruitment process. So in the process, what happens that everybody wants to come in early slots, and that is not possible to reach out to all the IITs at the same time. So that is one of the reasons why the companies are not coming. The second thing is that the IIT as a brand is definitely an important brand, but then the best wants to go to the places which are the organizations which also wants to take them as a very special cases. So they do not do the large recruitment. So even if we can bring the bigger organizations and the largest organizations, all of them will not be placed because very few will be selected. But there are certain organizations which are kind of an organization, they would like to take the large pool, but the kind of the job profile, the kind of a compensation package they provide, the kind of the locations they might be working, because of that our students are not constantly interested to go for such kind of positions. And that is one of the reasons, because such organizations are reasonably okay in terms of a compensation, and that is why I just have a request that let the people differentiate between what is the career options and what is the job option. So if the career is the plan, then only few select people will be able to make a career options because of the very few companies coming to the campus. But if you are looking as in a job and initially just to look as an alternate to take a stepstone, then possibly we can invite those companies which do a mass recruiting, and those are the companies which are avoiding the campus because of obvious reason that IIT students do not prefer. So if we do that, then possibly we will be able to place almost everyone, and that is something which is one of the reasons why we do not get most of the companies. And our former students who have graduated from this campus has some places they have done a reasonably good work, and because of that the companies are visiting again. But some of the places where they have not done well, or because of some reasons they have not taken up the offers, those organizations have refused to come this year to the campus. So there is a lot of sense of responsibility is required from the people who go out of this place, and make sure that there is something does not happen, so that even though we had the companies hiring from here last year, some of the companies didn't come, and they do not want to come to this campus, and that is something which is a very disappointing part on us, because we are losing out on a large companies which is recruiting in a large number, but they are not able to come because of the kind of a commitment which we are showing to them. So I hope that looking at the competitions, looking at the number of companies visiting in the campus, this year I request all of them that we try to take the committed step, so that we do not take any step because of that it hurts to the next generation, and at the same time it will help us to have a better future. I'm knocking every corner. Whatever the best could be done, that we are doing it. And in fact, you'll be very happy to hear that for day one, we have taken a challenge and possibly will be accommodating around 18 companies, which is reasonably a very large number of companies which will be accommodated on day one in this campus. And for which we have approached to the authority, and authority has been very magnanimous enough to provide as much as they can on a various front, starting from an accommodations or the venues at which we have to conduct the group discussions or the interview panels and all that. And I hope that as soon as the new complex of Nalanda comes up and we will have the complete complex in our hand, then possibly those issues would not be any more a problem. Secondly, the company has started understanding the basic requirement issues at IIT Kharagpur, and they have been extremely accommodative in terms of many times they say that they will commute from the Kolkata and then come here and conduct the interviews and go back on the same day. So we are able to kind of now coming to a position in terms of the logistics is not, I see a very serious issue in that term. Being IIT, the oldest one, we have enough of infrastructure, only it's a matter of exploiting that, and I think I do not see as such a major problem. The major issue was earlier was the distance between the Kolkata to Kharagpur. That anymore it is not an issue for any company, because any metropolitan city, if anyone has to travel from the airport to any venue, then they definitely take 1.5 hours to travel from that, and that is the same distance in terms of traveling from Kolkata to Kharagpur. So I don't think so any organization have those issues as far as the distance is concerned, and Kolkata can host a lot of good hotels, so there's no issue with accommodation there as well. Whatever we are doing it, I think in that term logistic is not a major hurdle at this point of time. Okay. Regarding the CVs, let me just tell you that many of the companies are taking a lot of precautionary measures in terms of the CVs, the content of the CVs, and some of the things which are kind of exaggerated, and if it is not correctly reported, it creates a very bad impression about the, in general, about the students' community. So at this point of time, the best thing would be that if we have this, as I said, that self-restrictions or kind of a self-integrity is the most important thing. Instead of I impose a certain kind of a freezing the CV kind of a approach, I'm not very comfortable with the idea of freezing the CV at the early stage rather than generating the integrity at our front. So my appeal would be to everyone that be very honest on your writing the CV, and the company, they are identifying very easily that if anything content is exaggerated in their CV, they identify it very easily now, and they have certain kind of internal mechanism. So even if you do that, possibly in spite of having the best content, people are not getting shortlisted. Many times the question comes, and that they don't realize it, that maybe somewhere in the CV some content has been differently reported. So my advice to all of you would be that be very upfront in writing honestly whatever CV you write it. And as far as the freezing the CV is concerned, that is one way of creating a discipline, but then why not have the self-discipline rather than inducing that? So I am kind of with a very open nature in that term, and possibly I would prefer that let us have the self-discipline on writing the CV rather than forcing everybody to have the kind of a CV freezing. But however, saying that it's not that we are going to restrict ourselves. We will possibly try, not this year, but it is the next year, we will try to come out with some kind of a mechanism through which we will try to create awareness that how to really bring the content of the CV to be more correctly represented rather than exaggerated.
So you mentioned a CV checking mechanism with the companies. So how perfect is this CV verification mechanism? As in, what if something which is true in the CV actually gets interpreted as false and the candidate is denied an opportunity in the company because of that? Can these cases happen?
No, there is a correlation possibly, because it is not that somebody who writes something and they will just whatever mechanism they are finding it out, that may be exactly taken on a face value. I'm sure they must be correlating with the other parameters, and based on that they must be taking a final call. I do not know exactly what mechanism they use it, but I'm sure they must be having a correlation. It is not that based on just some kind of a mechanism they find out and that is the final call. Means in this case, let's say for example, if it is checked through a software, finally the software is not the final answer for them. They will be definitely cross-checking it with their personal record and everything, and then they will find out that whether the genuinity of the case is there or not. So and possibly the most important part is that the kind of a content they write in the CV the duplications might create some kind of a problem, and that is something which is trying to avoid in the industry. So we have to be slightly careful in that front. Yeah, like IIMs, we do not have presently any mechanism to verify the CVs. We do not have the system in place so far. And as I said like earlier, that to increase, or rather to implement this kind of an approach of a verification of a CV, will be increasing extra pressure on many of the people in this campus, because if you look at the scale of the number of students going for a placement in IIM and the number of students getting placement from IIT Kharagpur, it's a lot of difference. In IIMs, maybe 200, 300 students will be going for a placement. On the other side, in IIT, the students who will be going for a placement will be maybe 1800. Now, these 1800 students, whatever the claims they might make it in their CV, to get it verified at a different source will be a daunting task. And that's something, it is hurting indirectly to the generations to come, because if you write incorrectly at this point of time in your CV, the organizations are going to take a note of it, and possibly next time they will be extra careful about on many front, and it will have lots of implications. So doing this thing is not going to help. But however, after stating this, we will try to come out with some kind of a simplified solution for it, where definitely we will ask the way the system which has been used in IIMs, possibly we might have to go for the similar kind of a system, where the basic information which is of important in a CV, like particularly positions held and kind of a responsibility they have done and all that, maybe in a unified way with the contact phone number, contact email address, and all the details with that, we will try to take that. But that will not be possible this year, because for this we have to have a system in place, and for that let's hope that next year we might be able to do that, but not this year. As far as the problems are concerned, let me just tell you, one of the major problems in terms of the students, what I find it so far, whatever the online test and offline test and whatever things have happened, and some of the preliminary rounds of the process, I think the preparation which is going on in this is not very well done by the most of our students. It seems that they are highly not focused, or rather I should say, in terms of what kind of the career options they want to take, what kind of a job profile they want to take. And because of that, what is happening, the preparation which has to get reflected for a particular domain, which is not coming. Say for example, if somebody wants to really take it as a career option in the area of, let's say, IT, then if his preparation is oriented towards an IT, then possibly his success rate will be much better. But if the same person is also trying in a finance for which he has not prepared himself, because of that, what is happening, that he is not able to kind of orient his energy or his preparation. So in this front, the students will have to kind of take a very focused approach rather than taking the approach. So this is one of the reasons I think the students are not able to perform, or the kind of success rate is not getting reflected among all the students. And that is one thing. Second thing, of course, the talking to various companies, one of the things which has come to know is the various aspects of the soft skills. And that is, soft skill is again a very important domain, as far as not only the communication in terms of talking, but communication in terms of writing, communication in terms of showing the attitude during the interviews, group discussions, all these soft skill areas. I think the students really have to work very, very hard, and the competition is pretty stiff this time. So obviously, the focused preparation definitely will help them to increase the success rate.
Kharagpur not being a metropolis, so is that a factor in any way?
I don't see anymore, because the way we are connected in terms of
developing soft skills for the interviews and all that.
In that front, you can say that as far as the training and placement is concerned, this year because I took over very recently in April, and because of that I didn't have enough time to possibly prepare well. But maybe in the next year we might have a very series of workshops to be conducted for the students, who can be really groomed from the day one for the various kinds of soft skills, and on that front possibly we'll invite some of the professional companies over the campus who can really groom them over the period rather than having the crash courses or shorter versions of the programs. However, some of our institute societies, they are doing their best to bring the awareness about the soft skill among the students. But as I said, the courses are itself is not going to help them. What they need to do is to practice and to make them more and more rigorous training, and that training has to be done by the set of the group of the students by themselves. But training and placement as such cannot groom them for this one unless and until the training and placement office gets converted into a career development center, where instead of just we look as a placement, but we look at as a career options, then possibly we will be able to do much better way.
So any plans to do this in the near future?
We hope to see. Let's see. We will try our level best. We have certain plans in our mind. We'll put it up to the authority, and then if the authority agrees, then possibly we might have to restructure the way we are looking at the current operation of training and placement. So I'm hopeful that when I get a right opportunity, definitely I will put across my views and tell to the authority that something different way we have to look at it in terms of the placement, because placement is not the only issue here. We are looking at the career, and career, when we look at it, it is not only getting the job into the market, but also making them aware about even the academics opportunities. That is also in career options. Or looking for the opportunity in terms of the research domain, where the person wants to carry out in the research domain, or looking at the options of going for a higher studies in the management area. So there are various options. So the students will be groomed at this career development center in a different way, so that the companies which are visiting to the campus will have a set of pool which will be only focused pool for them. So the multiplicity, the conflicts, or the kind of a duplications which is happening by the student who might be interested for maybe the higher studies abroad will not interfere in the process of placement, because he has already been focused. He is going to go for the academics, so he will not interfere in the process. So that is how we will increase the success rate also, and we will be able to give the students a proper counseling at the career development center, where we will ask them how to really look at this as a career rather than just looking at the job. So this is some of the broader vision which I have for this training and placement office. One of the reason was that this particular non-MOU university issues or MOU university issue came because of indiscriminate writing of lot of mails going from our students to various universities, and there were serious complaints coming from the university professors that their email boxes are flooded with the request of varieties of the internships, requests coming from the institute of IIT Kharagpur. And because of that, the institute authority took a very careful step in identifying wherever there was the MOU university, where we do not have a problem of approaching those university and apply for the internship. And on the lot of requests from the student, last year the permission was taken from the institute authority to just expand the kind of our opportunity to restrict ourselves in a non-MOU university against the advertisement, because very simple reason that anything which has been achieved through a competition is as good as the internship achieved at the training and placement office through competition by interview process, etc. So that is one of the reasons against the advertisements in the non-MOU university was allowed. So it indirectly really helps the IIT Kharagpur students to look at that internship very focused way, and he is not flooding the emails to anybody else's, because it is applied against the advertisement, so that it is genuine case, and only in that case the institute will not have any kind of objections of supporting such students to go for such internship. So that is very obvious reason the non-MOU university against the advertisement was permitted, and institute authority has still continued this year as well for all the students to appear and approach those kind of advertisement-based opportunities. As far as the company internship is the academic internships are concerned, then definitely it has to be against the advertisement. But as far as the companies are concerned, the companies which are visiting to the campus, definitely the people will be able to appear for the interviews and then get selected. But the companies which are not visiting to the campus, where the students themselves will have to approach to various companies and explore possibly. And for that reason, this year, to increase the success rate and to increase our database, we have implemented a new scheme, that is by declaring the options by the student at the beginning of the internship season itself, that he will take the TnP Track or he will take a self-arranged track. And TnP Track, as I said, will allow them to avail the facilities from the companies which are visiting to the campus, the MOU Universities and a non-MOU university against the advertisements. On other side, when the self-arranged path will be there, then the students will be able to apply to all non-MOU university against the advertisement. They can go to all those companies which are not visiting to the campus, and which will give them an opportunity to go to the totally a different domain where those companies do not visit to our campus. So once they will be able to find out such companies where these companies do not come to the campus, and if they go and do the internships over there, then subsequently it will help us indirectly to make them to give a presence of IIT and tell them that yes, IIT Kharagpur is there with them, and this institute can provide the students over there. And if they get a pre-placement offer, then subsequently that also will be helping us in terms of expanding our database. So this is one of the reasons why we have opened up this the TnP Track option as well as the self-arranged options. Though I know at this point of time, because of the clarity in the understanding about these tracks, a lot of confusion was there. But after my second presentation, that confusion has been removed, and possibly I hope that everybody has understood the difficulty what we are facing at training placement. The reason was very simple, that in fact this year it was a bit later, because of we were still in the process of formulating the policy. In fact, the next year it could be happening from July itself. This year, though we have put the policy in place sometimes in October, in September, but next year it could be in the beginning itself. In the July itself, the students will have to give the option. Now the reason is very simple. When you have the set of the companies and set of the institution which is under the TnP block, if we go for a self-arranged track, then possibly we'll have a large number of companies set, which will be totally a new, which is not at all associated at any point of time with IIT Kharagpur. So that itself will be an expansion of our database, expansions of a lot of opportunities for the students, and that is something which we are looking at, because the time has come now that we need to expand our database. And this database can happen by just doing the self-exploration. And as I said in the beginning itself, the self-help is the big help. So indirectly, this particular motive will help us. As you know, that we cannot interfere too much into the company decisions, and because of that, what they do is that to increase some kind of a fair chances about the early dates to get it, many times they open it on our pressure, but finally while doing the shortlisting, they are do not take the students for the specialization which they are not mostly interested. So obviously we are taking a note of those companies, and we will be able to take a preventive measures next year onwards, so that we make sure that we do not end up having this kind of a approach which is used by the companies. So we want to make sure that the companies which comes, they're in a true sense, when they are open to all, they truly represent the variations of different specializations which are covered in the shortlisting criteria. As far as the communicating to the companies are concerned, we communicate almost all the programs in this institute which runs to the graduate level or postgraduate level or at PhD level. As far as the requirement of the companies are concerned, because we have been very, very specific in our programs which are offered at the institute, the company, their internal mechanism point of view, they take maybe the internal inputs. From there they identify what are the areas in which they would like to go, and same they communicate to us. And when they communicate to us, based on the kind of a background students they have taken, we request those companies, if allied similar kind of a domain courses also can be accommodated, and that is a kind of a negotiation stage along with me, the PlaceCom coordinators take to the companies. We try to increase the opportunities in terms of getting more options or more programs to be included in the job profile. But subsequently, how much is the get success in terms of the finally shortlisting is the point which has to be very carefully evaluated. This year, as I told, that because we have taken over very recently, in fact we are working on that website, and I hope that maybe from next year onwards we will be able to bring the system in place. Secondly, there was a long demand for ERP system for the students, and presently the preliminary system has been developed, and that system is getting evaluated.